All right. Well, today is October 6th, 2024. And I am back again with somebody who's become a really good friend of mine, Static Major, Stephen Garrett. We come to do another recorded part anyway, of our card reading. This time I'm going to use a different deck of cards. I'm going to use the Panther Oracle deck. I like this deck. It's tiny, and there are 85 cards in this deck. Eventually, I'm going to get to this tarot, but I'm going to use these cards to start off with, just so he can lead me in the direction that he wants to go in. Relax. He's telling me to relax. I am kind of feeling it a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know why I feel kind of anxious, antsy right now, but I do. But I guess just to start off, let me start off by saying that I have no ill intentions, and I come in peace. Hopefully you know I come in peace, and I hope that you come in peace too. I may or may not make use of this here, my handy dandy pendulum. This tool comes in handy quite a bit, and I use it very often. I got a bunch of these actually, but Static Major, Stephen Garrett. Okay, stop. I said stop. Why are you still moving? Okay. So he's here. He's here and he's excited too. I can feel your excitement, and so I'm gonna need you to calm down a little bit. And maybe that's what I'm feeling as you. And okay. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but where he was just moving the pendulum back and forth, he's now moving it around in circles like he wants me to go ahead and get to the cards. So let me get myself together, because he got a lot to say. He has a lot to say. I'm gonna spray the holy water first though. All of this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I record videos often, but I don't usually share them. Whenever I do readings like this on people, or if I do share in-depth readings like this, I write them and post them to my blog. But yeah, the spirit who comes to me and presents himself as Stephen Static Major Garrett, has been asking me and some other people, so there are other readers who will be coming forward pretty soon, I'm sure, to help get his message across. So he said he's okay. All right now. We have evidence to come up first, and maintenance. Okay. Sweet dreams. Compromise. Mm. I'm not even totally sure I remember where we left off at the other day. Bully. So I don't even know. I probably should have watched that video first. Idea. Probably should have watched that video first before I started this so I can know where we're going. Schedule. Okay. Live and learn. Okay. So just to start off here. So evidence, it means just what it is. Evidence is evidence. Maintenance. I see the cards maintenance and schedule have appeared in this particular spread. Both of them are in reference to taking care of something, planning something, managing something, doing work on something. What are you talking about? Evidence of, are you talking about evidence of a bully or evidence of the person who allegedly, potentially, this is all conjecture, this is all me and my deck of cards and whoever moves my little pendulum around. But yeah, right off rip. So we have evidence and bully, so it's like evidence of a person who is causing trouble. It exists somewhere, but it's being guarded. Like the evidence is being maintained or protected, as evidenced by the maintenance and the schedule cards. And you have to excuse my poor little homemade manicure, because you know. So if somebody has something somewhere to prove that allegedly to prove that things, the situation associated with his death, the circumstances surrounding his death are not quite what they seem. I'm sorry, I live like right smack dab in the middle of the city, and so people, they don't care outside. They don't. I know that was loud. Interestingly, enough here, I don't think everybody, allegedly, I don't think everybody who's involved feels guilty. I say that because of the sweet dream card. I also will say that Stephen Static communicates in dreams. So I don't know how many other readers he has legitimately spoken to, but he is pretty good about communicating through dreams. And so for his people, friends, family, whoever, should anybody outside of myself and maybe 2 other people watch this, just know that he does pop up in dreams quite a bit. He's active in the dream astral part. He's very active there. So if you ever wanted to communicate with him on purpose, I'm putting this out here, but for anybody who is really kind of tapped into the spiritual side of things and open-minded about that kind of stuff, and to dreaming and lucid dreaming and astral travel and stuff like that. He is very active in the dreamland. Like he will meet you there. You know, you just kind of call out to him, and he's a very personable person. So I don't even think you necessarily got to be family or friends to do this. Don't overwhelm him. Do not overwhelm him. But he is able to communicate in that way. It's like, even when we cross over, we still have gifts, or we are better at some things than we are at others. And in his case, you know, or some people, once they cross over, they can manipulate electricity, and then other people, you know, ancestors or what have you, they can help you manifest money, and others can help you, you know, get in touch, get in closer touch with God, or you know, they can be great intercessors. Some are really good at traveling on the astral and on the dream plane, and so yeah, I wanted to put that out there. He might be visiting some folks that he didn't like, or that didn't like him, but maybe those dreams aren't so sweet and pleasant. I do recall the last time I spoke, or me and Static spoke on this. We talked about how even though he's been on the other side for, at this point, it's 2024, he's been gone for 16 years. But time and space are different once you get on the other side. And for him, this is all like it just happened yesterday. And so even though it's been so many years for us, for him, you know, it might as well have just happened this morning. And he's still learning and processing everything that took place. So his death, if you take away all of the conspiracy, all of the esoteric woo-woo stuff, it's horrible. The way that he passed is absolutely awful. But even just looking at it on a very, very surface level perspective, it's like that couldn't have just, that wasn't, it wasn't that simple. It couldn't have just been that simple as medical negligence or malpractice or whatever you want to call it. So he's come to learn some new things, ideas, live and learn. And for all I know, he's learned something since the other night when we had our initial conversation about who it might have been, or who was involved with his situation. And there may even be a way for him to prove it, or maybe there's something that's about to come out about who it was and why. I mean, I doubt there be any kind of criminal charges or what have you. Just because, I mean, his death was ruled, you know, I think it might have been ruled accidental, I'm not sure. But I do know that I think they said officially it was respiratory failure, which was a result of medical malpractice or negligence. So, you know, just kind of shake them up a little bit. Okay, let me get them there. But yeah, everything is definitely not as it seems. In my opinion, allegedly, it's my theory. Everything is not what it seems when it comes to Static's very, very untimely passing. I know I said it before in the previous reading that he has made it clear that he was not ready to go. It was not his time to go. He is not supposed to be where he is right now. But a part of him knew that day that it was going to be it. And somewhere in his spirit, in his mind, maybe if it was a quiet moment, because I believe his family, or at least one or two members of his family, was present at the hospital with him when he passed away. There might have been a moment where maybe they stepped out the room or what have you, and he was by himself, even if it was just for a couple of moments, and the realization hit him that he was not going to walk out of that hospital alive. Unfortunately. So he knew what was up. He knew what was up. Where we at? No. Okay, I ain't got to the right part yet. Hold on. I know you got a lot to say. You got a lot to say. You always got something to say. Talking about somebody who does not mince words. It's not him. I always got something smart to say. Alright, sneak peek. Are you confirming what I just said? Fury. Yeah, he is. Sweetheart, oh shit. Excuse my language. Reservation. Look. You do it every time. Every time. Every time. Disturbance. Oh, how great it is. Disturbance. Apology. Ominous. And death. So he literally just confirmed everything I just said. And some. And some. So there's a part that I tend to gloss over or avoid every time we come to this point right here. Because I've done full write-ups on this. I just never posted them to my blog because I can't prove or deny. I can't prove or disprove anything. So, like I said, this is all conjecture, right? It's all conjecture, theory, and talking points. So this sneak peek is not only for me and for us, as we read into this energy, but this was also a sneak peek for him. And this was something, he saw something either during the dying process or maybe immediately after, or not long after he transitioned to the other side, and he started to get a better view of things. I guess God or whoever you might believe in started to show him what was up. And it was definitely something that made him upset. It's something that he was very unhappy about, very hurtful. And unfortunately, allegedly, but I do have to say that cards like this come up all the time, no matter what deck I'm using. I can use any oracle deck. I literally have, I've lost count of how many decks of cards that I have, decks of tarot and oracle cards that I have. This is well over 50 for sure, at least. And it doesn't matter which deck I use, there's always a card that represents some kind of love relationship that comes up. And it's always this combination right here. So take that how you want. I have my ideas. But something about a love relationship, I know I hinted at it at a previous reading that I did record, but something about this relationship that he saw into, not while he was still on this side, but afterwards. It really upset him. And then followed by what follows the sweetheart card is the reservations. Now, reservation, this card is, it refers to wealth, right? Money, material things is like reserving or holding on to a material thing, or as it's depicted in this picture right here, this person is just loving on this car, and we can assume that it's an expensive car. So I mean, I'm not saying that a car was involved in Static Major's passing. I'm just saying that allegedly, something of great material value, whether it be his intellectual property or money or property or anything, it was a concern in this relationship, or maybe it was something else. It was significant. We'll say that. I will say that. I'm trying to say a lot without actually saying it outright, because but again, top row and bottom row, the ominous card shows up underneath the sneak peek. And so again, he saw what was coming. He knew what was coming. He probably knew before he even went to the hospital. He knew before he came home, which quick recap, if you don't know, Stephen Static, he was filming a music video for the song that he did with Lil Wayne in early 2008. It was called Lollipop. At some point during the filming, he came down with sickness, severe muscle weakness, trouble breathing, just a bunch of other weird symptoms. Didn't know what it was. Otherwise, he had been healthy for his whole life and really had any other issues that the public knows of anyway. And it was just something that happened to him all of a sudden. And he went home. He left that music video shoot. He went home. And by the time he got home, he was in a wheelchair. His face was drooping on one side like he had a stroke or something. They said he had, they went to the hospital after he had trouble breathing some more. They said he had myasthenia gravis, which is some sort of autoimmune disorder. They decided that they needed to do a procedure called plasmapheresis on him, which involves inserting a catheter and like filtering out his blood or something like that. And apparently whenever they inserted the catheter into his veins, they did it wrong, and they punctured his veins and caused him to experience internal bleeding, and therefore he bled to death. Basically, his lungs filled up with fluids, and well, he either bled to death or he drowned. I'm not sure which term would best describe it, but he died. Did he actually have the autoimmune disorder? Who knows? Did he actually need that procedure done? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can tell you that he didn't think he needed it. But, yeah, all the things that he got a quick view of, that he got a sneak peek of, he He wasn't happy about none of it. Somebody does feel sorry though for what happened. Um, Somebody's definitely guilty and is bothering them, allegedly. It is bothering them. Like all three of these cards: disturbance, apology, and ominous. Like, yeah, ominousness, my bad. And then this, the final card, death. Like, he knew what was coming. He knew. And that's what happened. Now, we're talking about above and below, left to right, above and below. So what is above this death card is the reservation card, which is, like I just explained earlier, a money card in this deck. Is one of the money cards. It's one of the resources cards. So his death was supposed to have brought about more than what it did. Maybe. I mean, you gotta understand, this man, he's one of the better known he is one of the better known unsung songwriters, right? Like, his face, like, once you go back and you actually pay attention, if you weren't the type if you weren't born back in the 80s and in the 90s, so that you could enjoy the music of the 90s and the early 2000s, then, you had to go back and look. But he was all over the place. He was singing background for, a lot of people. He helped to write #1 songs for a lot of people, or chart topping, top 10 songs for a lot of people. He was in a lot of places, and he had his own music. I seen a video of him talking about how he had about 4,000 songs in the vault, and I don't know what's involved with distributing music and everything. That's not my field, but to my knowledge, I know his music has been sampled out and licensed out or whatever. It's been sampled, interpolated, and whatnot over the years, courtesy of his estate. But his official album, I don't believe it was ever released. So since I'm pointing out all the other above and below cards, what comes below the sweetheart card is the ominous card. So I'm not going to comment too much on that. You take that for whatever. And whatever there was to be angry about, somebody had to be sorry. So there was fury somewhere. This was enough to piss him off. He was pissed. Somebody knows that he would be pissed. There was something that was worthy of being, of receiving or giving an apology. But yeah, I'm not gonna be the one to say it, but you can draw your own conclusions, because these are oracle cards, not tarot, so these are a little bit more straightforward. And blind and fate. Something about an unknown fate. Protest. Memory. Collaboration. Is it bully card again? Goal. And stubbornness. So I put some of my cards upside down. So he was blind to all of this. I guess he acted like he was a sword I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now. But basically, I think he tried to act like he was blind to it all. I don't get the impression that he was involved in a lot of the Hollywood or show business stuff. I mean, he might have mingled and rubbed elbows with a few folks, but I don't think he was that heavy into the lifestyle. I mean, he indulged in a couple of things here and there, but we ain't talking about like Diddy level participating in weird orgies and stuff. I don't think he did stuff like that. There's a couple of things that I think I see here. With the blind fate, I mean, I would think that that's pretty self-explanatory. These come together left and right, and I'm saying what I'm saying because I see these cards like this, and also, you know, based on conversations that we've had in the past. The blind fate is like he really didn't know what was happening before, and again, he's still learning. He's still seeing the stuff for what it is, and so it's not like he had it all figured out before. He still doesn't have it all figured out. He's still putting pieces of things together. But he didn't know. He truly did not know what other people had in store for him. However, what he also did not know was about anybody, a set of people, group of people who might have been working together. He was blind to this too. He was blind to this collaboration, to this teamwork that was happening. And what comes next to the collaboration card is the bully card. So these two cards represent people as bullies, people who don't like him or who have some kind of grudge against him, or maybe they just, you know, they're over him for whatever reason, working together for this common goal. Why would they get rid of him? I don't know. I don't know, and I'm not entirely sure I want to know. I know I'm reading the cards, but you know, sometimes I get into these situations where I'm reading cards for people, or I will have spirits come to me to read their cards, or to, you know, and we start getting in kind of deep, and it's more than what I be wanting to deal with sometimes. I'm being honest. Protest and memory. This could be talking about his actual legacy, and the way that he is remembered. Blind fate, protest, and memory. These are the cards that I have along the top row. So from what I know, because I am a Static Major fan, and I keep up a little bit, if you can't tell. And a few months ago, his family and friends were able to have a banner put up in his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, you know, in his honor, like a Kentucky Louisville Hall of Fame type situation. And I also know that his family were able to partner up with a museum that's in his hometown and create an exhibit in his honor. All his awards and stuff like that on display there. And he's not 100% happy about that. It's a lot of things that he's very unhappy with, and they just wonder, like, what are you happy with then? If I feel like you're complaining a lot, if I'm being honest. But yeah, he's not exactly thrilled with that either. Because it's not necessarily the way that he wants to be remembered. I mean, yes, his stuff is in the museum, and yes, that's cool. Yes, I got a banner, and there was this whole little ceremony and things that they had, but that's not exactly what he would have wanted, or how he would have wanted to be remembered, or how he wants to be remembered, because he's not making his trek back to do another life cycle anytime soon. So he's gonna be on the other side for a while before he's able to come back. So in the meantime, while he's still over there and he's able to kind of still look in, he's like, he doesn't want to be remembered that way. And he's grateful, but it's not as much of an honor as you might think it is. And that might be where that stubborn card is coming along too. This stubborn card can mean a couple of things. It falls right under memory. Stubborn does. So perhaps that is a sense of do I want to say that? Okay. So perhaps the sense of stubbornness comes from, as far as his memory is concerned, is maybe it's not so much that his music can't be released. Maybe it's just not being released for whatever reason. I don't know. This is just what I'm saying, potentially in the cards. It's like, we'll put you up in the museum and people can come visit you that way. It's like, oh, you were this great person, but I don't know. I kind of feel like he still think he alive in a way. I mean, I know he's like, he's very well aware. He's self-aware enough to know that he's dead, but he's still very much present. He is still very much here, and I think there's another reason. There's another meaning behind this collaboration card, because he is still very much here. He's still around for other artists who might know who he is, who understand the work that he did while he was here. And if you happen to be familiar with his work and then you hear some new music come out and you're like, this sounds like this could have been a Static Major song. Well, it might very well be a Static Major song. He might have been in the room spiritually while the song was being written. He doesn't only visit his family and friends. He can connect with other people who are on the same, I guess, frequency or artistic vibrations, or however you want to word it. He's able to connect with these like kindred spirits, so he's still making music. But as for the music that he made while he was here, he would love for that music to be put out. I believe so. I think. There's some other things happening here that I can see. In terms of fate, I mean, what comes after fate is the protest, because like I just said, he has made it perfectly and abundantly clear that what happened to him, he does not agree with what happened to him. And if he had his way, it would not have happened, regardless of who he believes might have stabbed him in the back. However, this fate card is very interesting because he's been able to make contact with people that he may not have known otherwise. Because, like I just said, you know, being on the other side, you know, there's time and space don't really exist, or at least it doesn't in the way that we know it. And so he's able to be in touch with people that he might not have ever met if he were still living, and establish relationships and bonds and things of that nature. Like, just a tiny, slightly off topic tangent, but life does not stop just because you're dead. It doesn't, you know. You might be dead to this world, but you very much continue to exist on a different plane. And like I said before, he's still very much involved with this side of life. Just not in the way that he would want to be. Like, he still goes to visit his family all the time. You know? And you know, he has kids, and he has a grandchild or two, and I believe the grandchildren are still babies. And so, you know, the veil is very, very thin, and I mean, hell, it really don't even exist for babies, so they can probably see him, you know. They can probably see him. I'll pull a couple more from this deck. I mean, you know, we can, or at least those of us who are, maybe we intentionally block out seeing folks. I mean, I know I do it all the time. I mean, sometimes I wish I could see them, and then at other times I'm kind of glad I can't, because I deal with enough to make me question my own sanity. All right, what else you got to say, Dad? And I'm letting him lead this, because, you know, natural disaster. That sounds interesting. There's a death card again. You're talking about surviving death. Because it's not the end like you thought it'd be. Yeah. Trap. What are you saying? What's the trap? Accident. So it was a trap, it wasn't an accident. I mean, we established that though, sir. We have established that. Mask. Okay, somebody lying. Somebody's not being truthful. And he says, stop. Where are we stopping? Are you getting sensitive on me? You gotta take a minute. He's very sensitive about this. Allegedly. This is allegedly static major. I'm show gain in memory. He's a very passionate person, I'll tell you that. Very passionate. Um, so the keywords on this natural disaster card are risk, frustration, and what else? Survive. And what falls beneath this card was the mask card, which is about deception. So, I feel like I said a lot of this yesterday. The people that he thought were friends are not his friends. And I don't think that's unheard of, just, I mean, in life, period, but especially in that industry. In that industry, they're not for sure. What comes to mind is a video or interview that he did. I guess it wasn't that long before he passed. And somebody had asked him what advice would he have for anybody wanting to get into the music industry. And what did he say? He said, "You don't really want to get in this business. This is a fucked up business." Like, so like he knew that before, but he knew it afterwards though. He knew it afterwards. So from, again, above and below, we got the trap and the gain cards. This trap, I wonder if they allegedly, whoever they are, the people are, if this was an attempt at some sort of energy harvesting type situation. Thinking that they could kind of feed off of him a little bit or invoke his name a little bit. Like after he passed, when they would go through, their songwriting processes or their song producing processes, if they would be like, okay, we're gonna call on Static. What would Static do? But it's not like in a it's not like in a way of like, how you would venerate your ancestors, like, like my mom. If I say, what would my mom do in a situation like this, or be like, oh mom, my mama, can you put in a good word for me? Like, it's not like in that way. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, if you know, you know. But yeah, energy harvesting, like, who would be the songwriter or the producer or producers, plural, writers, plural, who would, I mean, he probably would have said, yeah, to help you write a song anyway, and you didn't have to kill him. But I digress. Let me stop while I'm here. But yeah, he had this juice, this swagger, I guess, or this this vibe about him that he was cool. He was a man, so he had flaws, but he was otherwise pretty humble. despite his flaws, he wasn't the worst man that you could possibly encounter. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've met worse. I've dealt with worse. Way worse. You know. And by all accounts, based on what everybody else has said about people who actually did know him, he seemed like a pretty solid person. So it's like, why did it have to be him? Well, because. And we are at 50 minutes, so I might be wrapping this up. I might say a couple of words. So I use this, my little spirit board, my talking board. It's not exact. I don't call it a Ouija board, and my great grandmother's spirit doesn't call it a Ouija board either. She said a Ouija board is something totally different. But anyway, I use this to communicate sometimes, most of the time. He said, hand me the mic. Oh, well, thank you very much. He told me great job on reading the cards. I want to say thank you to everybody who loved and supported me. Over the years. I want to say thank you to everybody who loved and supported me over the years. I am truly grateful. No words can express my gratitude. No feelings compare. No feelings compare to what I feel. When it comes to my family and supporters. Little Steve, I love you. And baby Steve, I love you. Even more. Last but not least, my baby girl, Makari. You so grown. You so grown now. I can't believe how beautiful you are. I'm here. I'm always here. My sister's kids. Uncle Steve, love you. For my mom. Thank you for everything. To my boys, Smoking Black. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the last real singing niggas left. No, they not. I'm not. I'm not. I love Player. I'm going to see them next weekend in concert. I don't know them personally. I'm going to see them in concert. Lucky, I know. Lucky me. I know. I know you is. Okay, what else you got to say? Yeah, I'm rushing you because we've been on here for an hour. Says good night, world. Since she rushing me, don't do that. Don't. I'm not editing this either. Why would you do that? Anyway, anything else you want to say, sir? Keep my music alive. Keep my music alive. Look now, I don't want no smoke, so don't be getting me caught up in your mess. This is all alleged, by the way. See. He says he's done for now. I mean, we gonna come back and finish it. I still ain't touched these tarot cards yet, so you know. He says I know. I got so much more to say. I know you do, and I don't know how much of it I'm gonna repeat. So, you know, we'll see. We'll run on and see what the end gonna be. Said I guess so. He says I love y'all. I love y'all who stuck around to watch all of this. Talk to you again soon, world. Bye. Alright, that's it. At least for tonight, anyway.